Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning, July the 20th. We're wrapping up July pretty quick. It's been a very fast month, and a lot of people say, where's this time going? It's just flying by. Time waits on no one, so enjoy every phase of your life and every day of your life. So we're not promised for tomorrow, okay? Today's weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. High of day 88, low 76, and it's been like that all week long, 88 and 76. Water temperature remained the same all week too, right at 87 degrees, been pretty steady. Let's take a look at our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood, home of good fresh seafood, cooked to perfection. Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 5.2, steady all week. And interesting enough, looking back at the Choctawhatchee, we had a big rise in it. We thought last couple of days, but it's leveled off now. We thought it was going to hit 6 foot, but it's going to stay around 5. It's actually 5.1 this morning. So both rivers have been around 5 foot all week long. So it should be a good weekend on the river. Now our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Fascinating, no movement whatsoever. It's just completely neap tide today, no movement, but you are going to have some winds going to help out. But tomorrow morning we got that little bump right after midnight. It's going to be falling pretty fast. So that's going to be interesting there if you get a chance to take opportunity to take advantage of that situation. The tide chart, like I say, its high is going to be at 512 and low at 738, but it's like a 0.4 foot movement. Marine forecast will be west southwest at 10 to 11. So pretty good little breeze there to keep the bugs away if you're in open water. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to wish a happy late birthday to Lee Cowan. Lee turned 90 years old yesterday. So happy birthday, Lee. He gets to watch the show. A lot of his friends watch the show. We appreciate it. I got a picture here. Lee built this boat, folks. This is amazing. This boat was launched in 1972 here locally. He's called it a Hercules, and he built this boat. And this is boat building 101. I mean, that's right there. It's a classic boat to be built. I don't think it's still around, but it lasted a long time. And to go in the backyard and just build a boat or something is fascinating. I got to thinking about. That just carried on the legacy, and that's one of the things in my book, building the boats and all. Boat building legacy and the tradition of doing that in Florida Panhandle runs very deep. And I want to wish you a happy birthday, and I want to also again recognize the boat building tradition I have. So I went back to my book last night. I was looking at this picture and went back to my book last night, and just picked out a couple of books from my book, and I wanted to show you. But first. What I wanted to show you on the bottom right-hand corner was, of course, this was built in St. Andrews by Ed Hand. I'm going to talk about Ed Hand in just a second. Let's look at the picture at the top left. I'm going to blow it up, and I want to talk about that in a second. Look, that's Miss Ware, okay, Zadie Ware, married to Captain Burt Ware. The Ware family, of course, settled there where the condo is in St. Andrews right now. But look at the sidewalk or the boardwalk, and let me talk about that. I've been amused by following in the newspaper and on news media about the multi-use path that's going from Panama City to St. Andrew, and the idea is a great idea and all. The problem is they can't decide where to put it. Obviously, it would look good right there on the Beach Drive, so people could walk and ride their bike right along Beach Drive. But property owners own some of that, so I don't know what's going on with that. But it's not a novelty of idea to have a beautiful boardwalk or walkway or multi-use path by the water, as witnessed by this picture right here. So again, looking at that was Bay County's first multi-use path. That is right on the shores of St. Andrew, and I thought it was a great idea. Everybody could use that, and that's really where the public should be, and all the houses should be behind that. So I've always felt that very strong about it. The public should have the right-of-way on that. But let's talk about boats some more. The ones that were built here, this is right here, Lake Huntington. It's a little rowboat, and this was back in the 1920s on Lake Huntington, and everybody built their own boats, and we'll go through. This was the first gasoline-powered boat ever on the St. Andrew Bay system. And Mr. West owned it at one time, but that delivered the mail he bought into East Bay from St. Andrew. That was a mail route, okay? I enjoy looking up all this history. There's a guy, fascinating guy, Captain Ed Hand, and I know this is a little fuzzy and all, but he built all kind of boats. I want to tell you where he built them, about where Uncle Ernie's and Brad has the place at Sunjammers. That area right there is where Ed Hand's boatyard was, so he launched them right there behind, sort of behind the Ware property, and he was a prolific boat builder. When I do my research, I kept digging up his the boats he built. I was just fascinated with it. So here's another one here, but look how streamlined that one is. They wanted them skinny like that, sort of cut through the waves, but on the right is just a list of boats that he built for all kind of captains, all kind of boats and all. The only thing that was on a negative factor on Ed Hand, I could not find any family members, almost all the families in here that had descendants somewhere in either here or over in Jacksonville or wherever I talked to most of the descendants. I couldn't find anything on the Ed Hand family, and I wish I could have, just to share with them what all he did. I doubt they know that he was such a prolific boat builder. But anyway, just move on, and the last one I'll show you. Well, this was here on the right-hand side. I showed this 4 years ago. There were more, the top 8 or 9 or boats that used for taxi service, and the bottom 3 are automobiles used for taxi service. And that was in 1915, so that tells you how the area was. People went from place to place by boat and not by Uber. That's the way they did it back then. So anyway, I wanted to mention that to you. Also, let's move on. We got a lot to cover today. The pictures, I got a couple of pictures too to show you. I want to show you this beeliner right here. A lot of folks have problems sorting out a beeliner and a red snapper. The top picture is a beeliner. See how more streamlined it is? It's a member, of course, a member of the snapper family. Then the bottom picture is a red snapper. And when I showed that beeliner the other day that they had caught, it was amazing to me the beeliners how big it was. And I looked up the records around 7 pounds. That was like a 4-pounder. Most beeliners are about like that, but the picture I showed with Jeremy Cotton holding it up, that beeliner was that big. And he said they got into a bunch of beeliners and a yellow edge grouper. That was a fine trip. I just wanted to show you the difference between a beeliner and a red snapper. Okay, let's get ready for our first drawing, which will be Panhandle Seafood. We want to add a couple of names. Like I said, never too late to add your name. Ron Barlop, okay, and Philip Barlop. Got you right in here. All right, this could be for the Sandhill Seafood, the seafood platter, which is a lot of food on that. All right, now, and the winner is going to be John Somerset from Leisure Lakes. All right, good little drive over there for a good little meal from Leisure Lakes, John Somerset. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, let me throw this, welcome back, let me throw this out at you. It doesn't have much to do with outdoors, but a lot of local interest in our history and all. We'll talk about that, and always as a coach and all, look back on some of the players and all we've had in years past. And this SEC Media Days have wrapped up there in Atlanta this year, not in Birmingham, but I always try to follow it. I didn't get to follow as close, but I did get this picture from Mark McLeod on the left. Mark, these are boys and girls from the early 80s. Mark has a show in Gainesville with the Gator Football Network, and he has a daily show, and it does all kind of stuff as a broadcaster on the far left there. And then next to him, dark hair there, that's David Basil. A lot of you folks remember David Basil, our linebacker, played at Mosley, got a scholarship at the University of Arkansas, 4-year starter there, amazing football player. He became really, he was legendary here as good as he was, and David Basil. David ended up the Frank Broyles Award. He's actually was the innovator. He started the Frank Broyles Award across the nation. He does a lot of broadcasts. He does broadcasts now up there in Arkansas. He still lives around Little Rock and all. In fact, his mom, Carolyn Branch Basil, has moved up there to be close to her son. So that's a good family situation there. Then the girl is Sandra Golden, who's in broadcasting. All these, they met at SEC Media Days, all of them most are grads. Far right is John Little. John Little was our quarterback on a straight runner-up team. We were getting ready to drive, and he drove down the field for the winning touchdown. And we fumbled the ball right there at the goal line that we would have been state champions. John took the ball in his own hand, and he one of the University of Georgia started defensive back, all SEC, still holds the Georgia record for the most tackles in a season. Amazing football players, two of our finest. These are legendary kids. I'm so glad I got to see those guys and girls meet up there at SEC Media Days. And I just want to share that with you. A lot of folks out there know those names and all. Okay, let's move on. I did want to mention next on here, let's see. Those pictures I showed you out of the book, it made me, I decided to go up there and take it last night, went upstairs, took an inventory on how many books I have left. I've got exactly 275 books left. So two different people called me this week wanting a book. So I want to go ahead and encourage you. I'm not trying to sell the books and all, but I know a lot of folks have tried to say, I'm going to get one, Don't keep putting it off, because when these 275 are gone, I'm not going to print any more. So you can take that to the bank. So if you want to get one or want to get one for a friend and all, go ahead and do it as soon as you can, okay? A couple of announcements here. One thing right here coming up, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission is having a women's saltwater fishing clinic on July 28th, which is next week. And also, this is funny, on the 29th they have an adult saltwater fishing clinic. So I guess you ladies can take your husbands on that one. They're not calling it women's. So one day it'll be women, and the next day it'll be couples, I guess. So that will be there at Panama City Beach. Advanced registration, you go to myfwc.com and you can register there. Okay, so that's next week, put on by the FWC. Also, if you have a situation like this right here, Andy Weeks, my fishing buddy Andy Weeks sent this. We have a few openings in a hunting lease for the 2018-19 season, 10,000 acres just north of St. Joe off of Highway 71. Deer, hogs, turkeys. And dues are $700. That's not bad, folks, $700 for 10,000 acres. There's Andy's phone number, 227-4777. And if for those hunters and all like Andy, they're good outdoorsmen and good folks and all. So if you have some announcements like that, I know people trying to get the leases all closed out this time of year, it'll be a good time to do it. Okay, one thing too, I was looking, this is the lure that they left up here. This is what they call a Paul Brown. This is suspended. It's suspended with this water level here. It'll sort of go down this like and stay suspended. And it does that, you fish top water or you fish bottom. But this is suspended in this area. And I like fishing with this one. But I was looking at it, and you can, I sort of opened it up this morning. It has the inside of it, see that right there? That's a buoyant, that's like the insulation around a hot water heat or something that really floats. And that's how it floats like that. This is just a gel on the outside, and there's a wire that goes all the way through to hold the back hook. But it's interesting how they design and develop these particular lures and all, okay? I just want to show that to you. I've always liked to take things apart and look at them as a kid, but I took it apart, and that goes all on the body, and that gives a buoyancy to it, like that. All right, let's see. I got all kinds of things going on. I wanted to mention, I want to show that picture one more time. That's what I was talking about, the beeliner. See the beeliner in his left hand to our right? That's a huge beeliner. Okay, and you can see the difference between that and a snapper. It was Jeremy Brooks fishing with Captain John Law. Okay. If you get a chance now to go to any of our sponsors and tell them how much you enjoy Panhandle Outdoors, they really appreciate it. They're really sincere in helping everybody out and everything. And if you can, I know a lot of people like to buy stuff online and all, but if you can, go shop locally and try to help our local people in all endeavors. And at times, the best way the only way you can get such stuff is online sometimes. And so go ahead and do that. Now, I want to, this next little segment here, this was, I'm going to try to set this up. When you go in and your wife, if you're like me, you buy all kind of fishing equipment and all kind of stuff, all kind of hunting equipment, and pretty soon you have a lot more than you need. So if you're like me, this is what will happen. I'm gonna try to buffer it up here, and let's see. It may not work this morning, but it's a video off of I don't think it's gonna work, Jeff. Okay. I don't think it'll work. Let's go ahead and draw our names, and if I get it buffered up during a commercial, I'll go and show it then. Okay, this is going to be for the Tarpon Rock Seafood. This will be for the first one. Will be the $20 gift certificate, and the winner is going to be Steve Brookins from Lynn Haven. Steve Brookins. You thank your wife for sending your name in, because I know you were asleep this morning. And this will be for the big red snapper. Don't forget, red snapper season is ending up this week. And that winner is going to be Terry James from Altha. Terry James from Altha. So Lynn Haven and Altha and Leisure Lakes. That's our 3 winners this morning. All right, let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're gonna try to set this up. I've got it here, so it's only 30 seconds. This is when your wife catches you sneaking in some more fishing equipment and hunting equipment. So let's see if we can roll this right here. All right, so y'all can start identifying with that. I told you better. You can imagine. Okay, of course. Now look at this, and she's still getting on to him. He's trying to get away, but honey, this you don't have to pump this gun. Or this reel here, honey, this reel here, I don't have a reel like this one. And she keeps on talking. I told you not to bring any more equipment in here. You've got all you need. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So that's a lot of trouble to get that one little 30-second video, but it's very special. If you have much equipment, as a lot of us do, that we really don't need to bring much more stuff in there. Okay, our famous Friday fishing report with Tarpon Rock Seafood. We're going to, the first thing I thought about, we wanted to talk about Mitch Coburn sent a report in, a good report. The Kings are showing up down there. The cobia showed up down to Mexico Beach. So Kings and cobia are sort of rooting the roost, and don't forget he said that amberjack and triggerfish will be opening up the first of the month in August. So that's all going to be good stuff there. So Mitch has had a good summer. Now I want to talk about over Choctawhatchee Bay. I'm checking some things out over there. I'll tell you what's going on. It goes on this time of year all the time. Night fishing, catching fish at nighttime under a light, like on a dock or hanging off the boat. That's really, that's not a secret and all. It's just a lot of people don't do it because they don't want to get up that early. But what goes on, one of the reasons, the big thing is the light attracts a big gator trout, and that's where a lot of people do when they go fishing for those. They're looking for different, for big fish and all. Live bait under a cork at nighttime, you'll catch the biggest trout of the summer. Okay, and they're doing it over in Choctawhatchee Bay, and also in Choctawhatchee Bay. The beach and piers over there, they're tarpon. They're catching a lot of tarpon. Tarpon bite is red hot over there from Destin on back this way, all throughout the area. And also, okay, coming back here this direction, offshore, of course, you know, red snapper. I had to put the red snapper up for this week's report. They're catching, like I said, the red snapper bite has been phenomenal. There's been a lot of them out there. But keep in mind, there won't continue to be a lot of them out there if the season goes on and on and on. It'll get back like it was in the 80s. So, you know, limits and all are very important. And I know every time we go grouper fishing, we can't get to the grouper for the red snapper. We say that over and over, and it's sort of true now, but it won't always be true. But the red snapper bite, so enjoy. If you can go out tomorrow, try to go out tomorrow, Sunday, or tomorrow here is the last day. Sunday's the last day in Alabama. And they've had a phenomenal year. Okay, near shore here locally, bonita bite's been really strong. A lot of folks catching bonita. That's a fun fish to catch. If you got a kid or something who wants to get a really good strong fight, remember that's a member of the tuna family. It don't taste all that good. It has a lot of blood. A lot of people use that for shark bait. But bonita bite's been really good. The king bite's been really good. Mahi's been really good. Tarpon again. Well, I just mentioned that all the way down to Crooked Island Sound, which is a prime spot right outside of Crooked Island Sound. If you're familiar with what I'm talking about, as you're coming out right in the middle right here, this area, Crooked Island Beach, right in here is where you're going to get your tarpon bite right there, okay? And also coming on down to the tip. Like I say, a lot of folks don't fish for tarpon, but there are a lot of them out there, okay? The tip of the Cape, where a lot of them are also. And that's where the guides go, so give them room to work and everything. Now, the inshore flounder, and the flounder bite's been really strong. I've seen some good pictures of flounder. Now the redfish, they're steady. red fishing will be around the dock, and tomorrow morning will be a good time to go dock fishing. I may break one of my retirement rules and go fishing on Saturday morning. I don't not do a lot of it, but I don't do it very often if I can help it. But dock fishing is going to be really good, a little bit of movement, but you want to do it early. Trout bite's been pretty strong. Let's see what else I wrote down. Freshwater fly fishing up in Humphrey Slough is a good place. Fly fishing all along the river system. Get them around the willow trees where the bugs are hatching and those willow flies are out there. And they do that in periods of time, in a 30 to 40 day cycle. So you can do it at different times of the year. If you can get there after a heavy rain, after a rain and it was still dropping, and that's one of the top secrets folks use. If you're not going to fly fish and you want to fish like deep on the edges, like these little holes or behind, find some kind of eddy behind the logs and all, it's going to be good fishing. Haven't heard much report on catfishing. It should be good, but I just haven't heard much reports on it. A lot of folks aren't fishing much during the middle of the day, but a lot of folks are going early and then late afternoon fishing has been good. Now again, I put an asterisk by the, let's get back to saltwater, I put an asterisk about cobia. The cobia was slow showing up, but didn't have a lot of cobia earlier, but now they're catching some good quality cobia. I showed some pictures early part of the week, so be aware of that. You want to use for the live bait, a lot of pinfish are out there, so try to get some pinfish and use that. Also, greenbacks are good. Blue runners are excellent for king mackerel. In fact, that's one of our secrets in the king mackerel tournament. We try to find some blue runners and fish with them. So any kind of live bait, free lining, that's the number one bait to go to. All right, going to start wrapping it up. We've had a good week. We've got all kinds of good things coming up next week. We've got some good guests coming in, some really good fishermen coming in. I'm going to have Travis Bassford coming in doing reports, so all kinds of good things doing there. So you be sure and you have a good weekend. Enjoy the great outdoors, and when we say do something good for your fellow man, it could be any kind of little things or any some big thing, but just do something good for them. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.